Just what in the hell is wrong with people? What is wrong with people? Football fans will go out to celebrate their team winning the Premiership, their team being the champion of the Premiership, and someone lunatic, someone imbecile, someone waste of space on this planet will decide. So imagine people are planning to go and celebrate. People are planning to go and have fun with their families, with their friends. And one person will be sat in his house plotting how to go and cause atrocities. People like this, they should not even try to find out what or why he did it. People like this, that is why I know if I say it, it's going to be a little bit controversial, but the death penalty, forget about mental illness, don't bring that crap. Because when he was planning, there was no mental colo, as we say in Africa. But now when he does something like this and kill innocent people, they are going to say he had some mental issues. If he had some mental issues and plan and commit such an atrocity, they should lock him up forever. They should put him in a hole and make sure that he never see the light of day. All a person like that should see is darkness. So he should just go in darkness and remain in darkness for the rest of his life. Seriously. Can you just watch this? Watch this. Listen to what these good folk.
Pedestrians. This was a huge parade for the cup win for Liverpool. There would have been hundreds of thousands of people there. Obviously, it's now dominated by emergency services. The city centre absolutely packed at the time of this incident. It's not clear how many people have been hurt. Patrick is going to explain to us how huge this event was. But first to Anna, who's looking at what we know about a crime unfolding, a major incident at least.
Well, we can say that from the latest wire from PA, who are citing a Merseyside police spokesperson, a 53-year-old white male has been arrested in the Liverpool area. They're saying they ask people not to speculate on the circumstances surrounding the incident, which took place on Water Street. This is where there was a huge parade, hundreds of thousands of people, a day of jubilation. This is where the incident took place. The police are asking for people to not speculate on the circumstances. Unclear at this stage whether it was an accident, whether or not there was a motive behind this, and inquiries, of course, are ongoing. The police are also asking people not to share distressing content online. We're seeing lots and lots of videos of the incident itself. Also worth mentioning, Max, we're seeing a huge presence, of course, of fire brigades, ambulances, police vans, a huge presence there right now.
Fair enough not to ask for no speculation about the motive, but or the question I'm constantly being asked on social is, how did a car get there? Because, Patrick will describe this in a moment, but that would have been jam-packed, that area. And there was a car, you're seeing videos of a car right in the middle of it.
Absolutely. 2 hours earlier, you saw hundreds of thousands of people lining the street. How did a car manage to get onto this route, which was quite clearly pedestrianised, which quite clearly was set up for a big event? Collisions like this are not, unfortunately, unheard of in Europe, so there are normally precautions to stop vehicles from being able to access a pedestrian route like this. These are all huge questions that need to be answered. And as again, I'll stress, we do not know whether this was an accident or some sort of act of terror. That is ongoing.
But the Prime Minister's being briefed, so it shows how seriously they're taking it. This was his statement from a few minutes ago. The scenes in Liverpool are appalling. My thoughts are with all of those injured or affected. So confirmation there of the injuries, actually. I want to thank the police and emergency services for their swift and ongoing response to this shocking incident. I'm being kept updated on developments and asked that we give the police the space that they need to investigate. This is a bank holiday. The Prime Minister would be not expected to be, working, let's say, unless there was a major incident, right?
And he's going to be kept updated. This only happens for really major incidents. So that just goes to show how seriously not only the police, but of course the government are taking this. They're clearly keeping close eye, monitoring developments, which are happening quite quickly at this stage, and looking for confirmation on how many people have been injured. You know, unfortunately, were there any deaths? What's going to happen next? What were the motives? And there'll be a lot of witness statements coming as well. We're seeing some come through on social media right now.
I'm quite struck, Anna, by the statement, the last statement we had from the police, pointing out this is a 53-year-old white British man from the Liverpool area. Is this them trying to address the speculation that we're seeing bubble up?
It could well be. It could be trying to get ahead of situations that we've seen, for instance, in Southport, trying to quell any concerns that this had some sort of racial motive, and trying to put out there. But as well as that, I would say, Max, that's quite a normal response to give us a very brief description.
Okay. Patrick, just explain the scale of this event for those who aren't Liverpool fans or indeed football fans.
Yeah, I mean, this was meant to be a day of huge celebration, of jubilation across the red half, at least, of the city of Liverpool. One of the most iconic names, Max, as you well know, in the world of football. Record equaling now with Man United, 20-time champions of England. They're 6-time champions of Europe as well. And they'd wrapped up the Premier League title several weeks ago, so we knew this celebration was coming. I will say, we're learning from PA, the Press Association, that Liverpool City Councillor John Hughes estimating in excess of 1 million people in the Liverpool city centre area, breaking the 750,000 record for the 29 Champions League triumph that the club triumphed under Jurgen Klopp, the previous manager. But Liverpool wrapped up the title weeks ago. They won it in the end by 10 points. And this celebration, Max, in stark contrast to their 2020 Premier League triumph. The only other time they won the Premier League in the era, that was 2020, it was in the COVID era. On that occasion, the players had to celebrate in an empty stadium at Anfield. They couldn't celebrate with the fans. So this is a huge day that the fans were looking forward to. Hundreds of thousands, we now know reportedly over 1 million, had been looking forward to this day. Many of them getting in position hours and hours before the open-top bus parade. Some of the most famous players in the world of this massive global brand that is Liverpool Football Club on top of that open-top bus as it just weaved its way through Liverpool city centre. And it's just not what was meant to happen. We saw the thousands of flags. We saw the red smoke as well as the Premier League trophy was shown off by Liverpool Football Club. And this day has ended on a very sour and very concerning note. And I do want to say we're monitoring reaction from rival clubs, because at this time, this is an occasion when the world of football, the beautiful game as it's known, comes together as one. And whatever transpires with this incident, rival teams will be pulling together as one in support of Liverpool Football Club and the people of Liverpool. I know the city well. I used to live and work there. I was a student there. I know of their passion for sports, but when it comes to football, it is off the chart, guys. It is absolutely incredible, the love they have for the beautiful game there in Liverpool.
I've been to parts of Asia where they are huge Liverpool fans as well. They're one of those brands, aren't they, that really break out of the UK. Thank you so much, Patrick. We'll be back with you and with Anna as we get more updates this hour. I want to bring in Dal Babu, former Chief Superintendent for the London Metropolitan Police, a very experienced police officer. First question, really, I wanted to ask you. I mean, we'll talk a bit more about what happened tonight, but they're making a very clear point, asking people not to speculate. And it's not often they will define a white British man, their ethnicity in a statement like this. But this perhaps speaks to what they've seen recently with incidents like this.
Yeah, absolutely. In many ways, this is highly unusual to give the ethnicity and the nationality of a person. Because if you go on social media sites, particularly things like X, there's been absolutely rampant speculation that this is an Islamist attack. And the police will want to make sure that the people who are trying to stoke up fear and hatred and racial tensions and faith tensions are told immediately that this is a white British man. So that doesn't necessarily mean that somebody doesn't have a faith from a different background or you have to be a particular ethnicity. But I think what they're trying to do is deal with the speculation that there's been on X and other social media sites, which has been trying to suggest and whip up hatred.
Absolutely. I'm just looking at the latest statement. The other thing that's clearly frustrating the police is that people are sharing distressing content and not sending it to the police. And they're the ones that need to see this stuff, don't they? Because they're dealing with a live... I mean, it only happened a couple of hours ago.
Yeah, I mean, I think I always find it very, very shocking how people do this, particularly on things like X, where, there's no thought to the fact that loved ones have been injured. Some people might have been seriously injured, and some, and I think, it's something that's just about basic decency. Please don't share these videos because it's somebody's loved ones, and so if somebody sees that on social media and then suddenly sees their loved ones being struck by a vehicle, it's going to be extremely distressing. So the police are asking. This is about compassion, but also having a degree of humanity, and just ensuring that you're not sharing information which people are going to find extremely distressing.
Can I just ask you one quick question? The Prime Minister coming out very quickly saying he's being briefed on this. So he, as you say, it's a bank holiday. He wouldn't normally be working full hours. When you were in the police force, what would that indicate to you? What would you have said to the Prime Minister? I mean, how serious does it show the incident to be?
Well, it shows the very fact that the Prime Minister has come out and said this on national TV and radio indicates how serious this matter is. So what would happen when I've been involved in serious incidents, you're required, while you're doing everything else, to ensure that you've got a briefing note that's with all the information you have to hand, and that's sent through the Home Secretary up to the Prime Minister. Often that information will be limited, because at the moment it's very, very unclear what the motives are of this individual. And I think what the police will want to do is make sure that they've got hold of all the information before there's any further speculation. And I should imagine the Prime Minister will be told that.
Dalbabu, really appreciate you speaking to us. I know how hard it is when we have so little information, but we need to speak to that as well, don't we? Thank you so much, former Chief Superintendent for the London Met. Liverpool Football Club releasing a statement. We're in direct contact with Merseyside Police, they're saying, regarding the incident on Water Street, which happened towards the end of the trophy parade earlier this evening. Our thoughts and prayers are with those who've been affected by this serious incident. We'll continue to offer our full support to the emergency services and local authorities who are dealing with